guys, and welcome back to Real Life with Abby. My name is Abimbola. Thank you so much for stopping by. So if this is your first time on my channel, or you've been here before but have never subscribed, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button and then click on the bell to turn on your notifications so you can be notified whenever I post new videos. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much for coming back. It's really good to see you again. I appreciate you guys. I always appreciate you guys. So guys, there's a video going around social media. It was posted by a lady, a Nigerian lady in the UK. So I'll let you watch the video and then I'll tell you how I feel about it and what I know about what the problem really is. So I'll see you in a bit.
Hello Instagram, Instablog. Good morning. This is the house of a Nigerian from Edo State, Grace Pa.Y, doing this to a fellow Nigerian. She would employ Nigerians to come and work for her, and the work she will not pay them. That is the first car, is a Lamborghini. Yeah, she's got grown-up children. This is the second car. This is a Jeep. The council will pay her every Wednesday. She will refuse to pay her carers. This is the third one. It's a Benz. This is a Benz. And this is the last one. I don't know the name of this car, unfortunately. She's got 4 cars. She's got children, unruly children. This is what a Nigerian, yes, is doing to a fellow Nigerian in London. In London. They will work so hard and she will refuse to pay them. They will work their ass out. She's got an agency. The name of the agency is Richard Norman. They pay her every Wednesday. She will not pay the staff. She's using that money to buy expensive cars, to buy designer bags, designer shoes. Nigerians, we want you to talk. If this is fair, let it get to our people. We want you to see this and tell us if this is fair. People come here, they work their ass out for her. She will not pay. She will not pay. Instead of her to pay, she feels that they are all greedy. All what she wants is all the money to herself. I don't know if she's taking the money to heaven. If she can afford this car, and yet she cannot afford to pay just £3,000, and she has the money, she has refused to pay. That is the Lamborghini. You can see it there, Nigerians. You can see it there. Just judge if this is good. We are all one from Nigeria, but look at what she's doing. If she's fair.
People are suffering in London. Working.
People are suffering. They work so hard. She has made it impossible for them to take care of their parents, and yet she has her grown-up kids under her doing nothing.
My newborn baby. Video,
people will leave everything.
Video, this car number.
This is one of the best. This is one of the people
in Nigeria. See what is happening here in London. What people are suffering. People are suffering. I let my own newborn baby. Video the boy. Video here. That boy.
I see the picture already. We've got enough pictures already. We are putting this on Instagram. Instablog, they must. You people, please.
Your people in Nigeria
they must see all this before the end of today. Fake. £3,000, and you have all these cars. You have the money in your account. You have refused to pay. Is this fair? Is this fair on your fellow Nigerian? Is it fair? And you think this is the right way to do things? Is this fair? Is it fair? Is it fair? That is our daughter-in-law I just got now. Is this fair? Is it fair? Nigeria to Nigeria, yes. Is it fair? They will work so hard and you refuse to pay them. Fake lives. Fake.
You need to step out the way. I would have made you change.
So guys, you've seen the video. Apparently this woman called Grace Pa.Y owns an employment agency. The employment agency is called Richard Norman Care Coordinators. They are based in Croydon in the UK. It is a care agency and has carers working for them. Now, I know quite a bit about how things work when you have an employment agency that provides care either in the community or nursing and residential homes, because I work for the National Health Service and we actually commission some of these agencies to provide care to people, to vulnerable people in the community that the NHS funds. So mostly elderly people and people with learning disabilities or physical disabilities. So I have an idea of what rate the agencies are paid by the National Health Service or the local authority, and what the agencies actually end up paying their workers. I also liaise with the local authorities as the social services, and we use the same agencies most of the time to provide care to the patients that are funded by the NHS. So there are some things I'm not able to say. Make I no come open file in make people no come enter Wahala, especially if they no get correct paper for this country. So I'm going to be a bit careful about what I say. The agencies get the money, like I said, but these carers are the ones that do all the work. Care work is a rubbish job involving what you would not really want to do back in Nigeria. These ladies have to wash the clients, they have to give them baths or showers, they clean the pool, change incontinence pads, carry out moving and handling, because a lot of the clients are bed bound. And these carers have to move them around using the approved moving and handling techniques, like the hoist, to move them from the bed to the chair or to the wheelchair, back to the bed or whatever, because they are not allowed to physically lift these people. It is against the law. They change beddings, they prepare simple meals like sandwiches and warm, ready meals, and have to feed the clients at times. So it is not really what anybody would really want to do. People do it because they don't have a choice. Most of the time, people that have just come into the country, or a lot of people that are really, they don't get correct paper, so then they find way around that thing. You would not really see many white people doing the job because it's a dirty job, like I said, and the pay is really, really low. It's not really good. So for the carers that work in the community, they have to travel between clients, and for the ones that drive, you know what that entails. They need to buy fuel, they need to make sure that their cars are roadworthy, and for those ones that take public transport, they have to travel on the buses or the train, whatever, to get from one client to the other, and they have a time frame. So you can imagine what happens during the winter when the weather is really cold, and how these people manage moving from one client to the other. And it's not that, sometimes it's not that the client will be within 5 minutes of each other. No, it could be 30 minutes away, or sometimes it could actually even be 1 hour away. They could be 1 hour away from each other. So it's one of the lowest jobs to do in this country, and the pay, like I said, is just not good enough. It's the minimum wage. I really can't understand why these ladies waited until they were owed £3,000 before doing something. There are ways to deal with such situations in this country. And you heard one of them saying she left her baby, so she has a young child. And childcare in this country is not a joke. It is very, very expensive. So paying childcare out of whatever salary she gets, and then not even being paid at all after doing the job, I don't know how she's been doing it. I really can't understand how the woman that owns this agency, this other woman, how she can be so bold to withhold her worker's salary and spend it on expensive cars and lavish lifestyle in this country. If truly this is what is going on, because it is an alleged case now, we are not very sure. But I don't believe this woman can be lying about them being owed their salary, their pays after they've already done the work. So if truly she's owing her workers, I don't know how she can feel so comfortable doing that, knowing how things are in this country, knowing that you don't pay your bills, you are in trouble. You don't pay your rent, you get chalked out. You don't pay your mortgage, the bank will repossess. So how can you not pay your workers when you have been paid? Because the local authority will normally pay them. They wouldn't owe them any money. In this country, when it comes to vulnerable people, they don't joke with it, although there are mistakes sometimes, but normally they don't joke with it. So there's an organization called the Care Quality Commission that inspects care providers to ensure that they are up to scratch, and they close them down if they are not. So I've gone online to check their rating, and I have found that they were last inspected in June 2019 with an overall rating of good. So that means the carers are doing a good job. If these women's carers had not been performing well, there is a likelihood that they would have had some safeguarding alerts, some complaints, incidents, and accidents that could have affected their rating. And she cannot do the job herself. She can't. She needs these carers to do the hands-on job while she sits in the office and controls the cash and deals with the paperwork. So you saw the woman and her children with one of the boys actually saying that they are rich, showing off his Rolex watch, and then telling the ladies to record the Lamborghini. I just found that really disgusting. I can't think of why the woman has refused to pay her staff their wages in a country with rules, regulations, and laws. guiding employment and all that. We are not in Nigeria where anything goes and the poor are easily trampled on. You do not have the right to withhold the wages of your staff. If they are not performing well, you let them go, following laid down policies and procedures. That's the rule of the country. So what the law actually says is that your employment agency must pay you. They have to pay you once you've done the job. If they're giving you that contract to do the job, if you've done the job, they have to pay you. Even if they have not been paid by the hiring company. That's what the law says in this country. But even in this case, the local authority, and if the agency has a contract with the NHS, will normally pay them without delay. Because where I work, as long as you send in your invoice, we pay you, we pay them. So I cannot imagine that they have not been paid. And even if they have not been paid, the law says you have to pay your workers. That's it. That's the law. You don't have any excuse. I'm not very sure why these ladies have gone down the route of social media when there are procedures in place to follow when an employer or an agency is owing you wages. As long as you have the terms or contract in place, they can specify precisely the days and places they worked, the agreed rate of pay, details of how they were told about the shifts, and the pay rates before they started the jobs. So once they have all this, there are rules and regulations, there are procedures to follow. So I'm not really sure why they've decided to go down the route of social media. Maybe they are thinking that will be quicker. I'm not very sure. Or maybe it's the other thing that I said earlier. Maybe they don't get paper. They don't want to go down that route. So they can make a claim to the Employment Tribunal or contact ACAS, which is the Advisory Conciliation and Arbitration Service for Early Conciliation. Or they can actually go to the Citizens Advice Bureau if they don't know what to do, if they are confused about what to do. They can go there and seek advice. It's free of charge. You don't get charged for it. You just go there, book an appointment, and then you go in and tell them what the problem is, and they tell you exactly what to do and how to go about it. Free of charge. You don't get charged for doing that. I can understand their frustration. I mean, they've got family to feed and support, bills to pay and so on. And they've done the job already and deserve to be paid. And then they are watching the person owing them and her children living large and driving big cars, wearing Rolex watches, carrying designer handbags. How wicked can people really be? And your staff are suffering. Why would anyone want to do that? If you watch the second video again, you will see that there was no form of remorse at all. The woman and her sons, they didn't show any sign that they were embarrassed or anything for what was going on. It doesn't appear one bit like she was faced by the recording and the threat of the video going viral on social media. But you never can tell. She might have been putting on a front. I'm wondering if she's owing more of her workers and if it's just this one person. And if so, why? Why would she owe this particular person if other workers are being paid? We don't really know yet. But I guess if she's owing other workers, they will come out now that these ones have come out to say she's owing them. They will now have the boldness to come out to say, yes, she's owing us as well. I know where this woman's office is, and I know the area where the house is because she did mention the postcode of the house. This is not very far from my office, and I know how expensive houses are in that area. Believe me, houses are not cheap at all in that area. This whole thing, this whole nonsense actually reminds me of those madams, those Edo madams that used to take all these young girls to Italy and then use them as money-making tools and refuse to pay them. It's just quite similar. It's just that these ones are free in this country. They can decide to stop working for her, but those ones, they are stuck once they get to Italy. Alright guys, so that's it on the alleged Onigbese Edo woman who allegedly has refused to pay her workers because it is an allegation. We are not very sure if it's true, but it is unlikely that these ladies are lying that she's owing them. So what do you think? Let's talk about this in the comment section. Please share this video with others and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you soon. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.